I'm the breast man, if anybody doesn't know. And it's Kate. Kevin and I have known each other for about 11, well, officially we've been friends for 11 years, but I originally saw him for the first time in 1996 when he did Rocky at UCSD, and I went and saw the show at Halloween, and we hit it off, but then I didn't speak to him for 5 years. So those of you that know me know that I have an opinion, and I'm not afraid to share it. And when Kevin and I first became close, I was close. When we first became very close friends, I had this kind of realization that Kevin did not cherish himself the way that he should have been cherished, the way that I cherished him. And he's an amazing, amazing human being. And he is generous with his time. He has a truck and he helps people move, but no, he's not even asked tonight. Not tonight. He's incredibly generous of spirit. He's smart and he's hilarious. Anybody that has met him for 2 seconds knows how funny he is. And he didn't seem to know this when I first started hanging out with him. And we were living together, and Joe was the unofficial third roommate, so he can attest to it. He was the maid. And I made a pact with myself to make Kevin understand how special he was and is. And over time, I convinced him to kind of get out of the place that he was in the rut and to feel good about himself. And over time, he started showing signs of that, and he met Christine, and I finally went, wow, there's somebody that deserves him. And nobody before has. And Christine, you are amazing and beautiful and sweet and as generous as Kevin is, and you are so perfect for each other. It's kind of sick. Anybody who's seen their show collection, and they are the most perfect couple you can possibly imagine, and it has been my absolute honor to be a part of this wedding, and I don't think anybody here will forget how wonderful it was to be here to share in the joy of this occasion, and how much we are looking forward to spending the rest of our lives watching you guys grow old together. Cheers. Cheers to you. Cheers.
I'm following Kate. Of course I've got to have notes. I suspect many of us have not been to a steampunk wedding before, or one incorporating puppets. Like Christine and Kevin, this ceremony was unique, unusual, and charming. Speaking of unusual, I'd just like to point out that it's a little odd to be in a gathering with this many people in corsets, and Kevin's not one of them. Kevin and Christine are not only blessed with a shared sense of drama and flair, but also of gameplay and whimsy. Possible other wedding scenarios might have included themes like the pulp era of the 1920s and 30s, Marvel's Cloak and Dagger or other superhero roles.
First anniversary renewal.
Or zombies.
Zombies. Brains.
You may have heard about or experienced, if you were here early, the lack of power and lights and water and all of that the Julian Mountain Meadowview Inn was experiencing last night. But I had no fears because Christine is excellent at resource allocation, and I knew even if the power didn't come back on, the wedding would take place as planned. When I think of Kevin and Christine as a couple, the instance I always think of is from an early Christmas together. Christine called and she said, "So Kevin and we went past the Toys for Tots bin, and I said, I wish I had unlimited resources so I could give stuff to tons of kids, but I don't have the money for that. And Kevin took me back to the toy section, and he filled the cart with the little Play-Doh things where, you know, you can play by yourself or you can play with other kids, and they're little and they're affordable. And we filled the Toys for Tots bin with the little Play-Doh things. And that generosity of spirit and that responsiveness to each other is just exemplary of how I think about you guys and how I think about the relationship. Christine is one of my best friends. She is there for me no matter what. I can call her and go, oh my God, I'm so happy, or oh my God, I'm going to fucking kill somebody. She's there for me either way. And I suspect she's there for a lot of other people in that way. But the important thing is, when she needs that person to be on the other end of the phone or there for her, Kevin is that person, and I appreciate that. So, here's to you guys. Cheers.
So I feel like following the previous two people can only be sort of a pale imitation, but I will kind of keep it short and sweet. Growing up, Kevin and I actually spent a fair amount of time apart from each other, I think. It was only as I grew older that we got to spend more time with each other at the holidays, and I got to feel like I knew Kevin better, and came to realize what a wonderful brother he really is. And I always felt like as we grew older together that I could see him kind of growing happier. But it wasn't really until he met Christine that I saw him not just happy but really content. You know, there's a difference, I think. You know, he's found real satisfaction in life, and you know, it's obvious when I see them together that the love, right, just shines between them. So I think it's really appropriate that you picked swans, because I think this is something that is, you know, a lifelong relationship. And even in Japan, there's a phrase, oshidori fufu, which is the family that comes together and they stay together forever. So the two swans. So I think that's cute.
I've known Christine for a long time, longer than Kevin. But, you know, since they've been together, I just love the lightness of heart that Christine displays. You know, she was, you know, happy-go-lucky, and it's just, it like fills her entire person. And just how great they are together, their shared sense of whimsy. Oh, it's just so awesome. An ideally suited couple. I'm so happy for you guys. And Christine and Kevin, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you all so much for coming and for joining us today. This is the best part, you know, when all the rushing around and planning and everything is done, and we can just sit here with all the people that love us and that we love back. It's my brief toast to my new husband. And it's, take a deep breath. I remember the invite on my beginning. Talk about yourself briefly. Oh, no, I'm good. Okay. So the funny thing is, you think when you've had some love relationships and they haven't worked out, and you think that it's all just a big romantic lie, and that it's really, you know, it's really convenience, it's really affection or friendship, but it's never going to be that romantic sweep you off your feet moment. And then you meet the right person. Amen. Preach the text. And it's totally, all of the cliches. I'm marrying my best friend. I'm happy all the time. Every love song means something. All of those cliches are true. But here's one that's not a cliche. It's true for me too. To my darling husband, best decision I've ever made.
Well, you know, for all of you who are parents, you know that you have children that you cleave to, and then there are children that you just love because they're your children. Drinking all this champagne. I have, actually, I guess I owe most of this to Karen, Christine's mother, because since we've been married, I have acquired 2 brothers, which I never had, and a daughter, which I had hoped for and made some other choices. And the nice thing about doing that later in life and choosing them is that you get to pick the best of the best. I got the best of the best. And the second best of the best.
I just want to thank you all for coming out to this. We know so many awesome people, we couldn't invite them all, but that allowed us to be picky with the guest list. So if we invited you, we think you are awesome. So it's just such a great day. I've always been a slacker about marriage, and like, okay, when you want to, honey, you know, no rush. But now I am so glad that you have made all this happen, and this is, you know, there's that cliche about one of the greatest days of your life. This is the greatest day of my life. I love you so much.